my God, which one of you dug up the fucking baby chick because I didn't bury
that ass.
I wiped that ass. Hey guys, welcome to the official YouTube page for Calm Down with Erin and Charissa. This is where you can watch all of our ridiculous conversations and fun interviews. We have full shows, we've got pre-games, anything and everything that you guys could want. But first, you're going to have to subscribe. Just hit subscribe right there and you're good to go. And now you can calm down with us. Yep. Can you tell that we're reading this off a script? We hope so. All right. We need to calm down and wrap this bad boy up. Press subscribe. Thanks for listening. Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio. I told my gal, welcome everybody to the Calm Down podcast. I had to stop at the gas station, pick up a Mega Millions. Oh, it's Powerball. I bought a Mega Millions ticket, didn't win. Congratulations to all the winners. And now I got a Powerball ticket, but I didn't have any food in my refrigerator, so I got Doritos for my lunch, which is so disgusting. And so that's what's going on over here. I've missed you so much. It's been weeks since we've had a live podcast because life has, that's just what happens in the off season. We try to do all of our things and all of our stuff. I've been at the ranch. You've been busy working and doing amazing things, which we will get into, but how are you? Go.
Well, let's do our little, what's coming up, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have an update on the rut. And I'm actually going to tell you about an emergency security landing I was a part of. You got some Botox and got your hair done?
No, I need Botox and I just got my hair done. Ladies, I'm going to get into this, but there's like that one day where, anyways, I'll get into it later. I'm going to give you an update on just fucking pulling my life together. Also, Erin had a situation at TSA, which offended her. She wants to get into that. Her feelings were hurt. I kind of like the way you said that. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we have a lot to catch up on, including how long were you at this ranch for?
Well, so what I'm trying to do is be there as much as I possibly can in the off season for a couple of different reasons. I'm hemorrhaging money. No one ever said ranches were cheap, but it's money that I'm fixing up places around the ranch. My parents came into town, which I was so excited. My dad's been there before, but my mom came into town this time and it was so much fun.
What'd she think of it?
She was like, she kept being like, how do you do all this? And like every morning, I get up at like 6:30 and feed the animals. And she goes, never in my wildest dreams did I think that this kid of mine would be like doing that. But it is the place that I feel the most at home. Like I'm so happy when I'm there. Like I'm back in the real world right now. And like even driving today, I was like, like angry just driving because it's so peaceful there. And I don't have children, but I feel very motherly. Like I have these baby chicks and you have to clean their bums because when they go to the bathroom, if it dries on their bum, then they can't go to the bathroom again and they'll die. So like you have to go out there and like I clean the baby chicks' bums and just like, and like the chickens are waiting for me every morning at 7:00 to like have their food. And Larry the pig likes to snack at 5:00 and all my little like animals and my horse and my dogs. And it just makes me so happy. And I could go on and on and on and on. So I want to be there as much as possible, but I took full advantage of Scott Thompson, who my dad, before he got into the car business, he worked construction. So this man can do anything and everything, right? He's just like the quintessential father that like shows up with the toolbox and is like, let's get to work. So he helped me do a bunch of different stuff and renovations and like make this whole front entrance beautiful and all this. Now, I love a project too, but this guy can go. And it's a problem. I looked at Steve and I was like, he's twice your age. Get out there and keep shoveling. Like, Steve, you cannot put the shovel down before Scott. It is not a good look. So we're like out there. It's Steve's birthday. And I was like, I don't care if it's your birthday, if it's Christmas, if it's St. Patrick's Day. No holidays count. When Scott is here, we are working. But it was really great. Just, I don't know how you feel, but like, especially as our parents get older, I want to spend as much time with them as I can. Yeah. So to get 2 full weeks with them was just awesome. And to do it in a place that I love. So that's what I've been doing. You?
Well, hold on. You said you're hemorrhaging money. Easy for me to say. Where do you find you're spending the most money when you're out there?
I love you. Great question. It's just on fixing this stuff up because I don't have patience for some long-term plan of like this 10-year plan I'm going to do. I renovated the inside of the main house and I'm renovating this secondary house now. But like, everything just costs money. I mean, even to take care of these animals costs money. But it's something that I feel, and I know that we both think this way, is like, if we really want something, then I feel fortunate enough to like, okay, then go work another job or go do another thing here or there. But I haven't talked to you. I also think I am never in Los Angeles. You know how I've talked for a long time about moving out of this
What'd
city.
you buy? Where are you going?
No, I'm gonna rent my house out. I'm putting it on the market next week.
Sure. Okay.
I don't want to sell it because I think investment wise,
where are you going to live? Well, don't say where you're going to live.
With you.
Great.
I'm just gonna move somewhere else and rent a place because I want to rent this place out. And I'm like, why am I paying money for places that I'm not in? And I'm trying to be more financially sound. Steve, of course, is not happy about that because he's like, you're always looking to do something and then you're gonna get stressed out about it. But I'm
and then he's got to deal with you.
I know, but I am trying to be more fiscal about things. Like if I want to spend my time over here, then why am I going to pay for stuff over there?
Okay.
So that's what's going on. But yeah, no, it's something that brings me a lot of joy. And I just want to spend as much time there as I can because for 6 months out of the year, I don't get to spend a day there. So like today, like I felt so bad. It's my first day. I'm not there with the animals. And I was like checking on the cameras on them. And I was like, oh, they need me. But I'm sad to leave them.
I love that you were out there for so long and all the work you did. I mean, plug your Instagram. Where do people find out more about your ranch?
Oh my God, you're so cute. No,
but the pictures are incredible. Like Jarrett looks at like what you've done decorating wise and you go, we got to go there. I mean, we got to go there. I'm like, I get it. When are we home?
You're so sweet. No, it's like a total passion project from the design standpoint. But then now I've become even more, I've always loved animals. I didn't know I loved having 75 animals.
Or wiping a baby chick's ass.
Yeah. I like feel Terry Bradshaw called me the other day to like catch up. And I was like, Terry, I'm wiping. So Terry has been a rancher his whole life, right? Like he goes, well, I'm calling you to tell you I got some horses for you. And I was like, great. He's like, bring them on out, Terry. But I was telling him that I was wiping the baby chick's ass. And he's like, I've had so many chickens in my days. I've never wiped one ass. And I'm like, well, that's the mother in me. You know, you're a mother. I'm like, I have to help the baby chicks.
I can barely get a 9-month-old to stay still when I'm wiping his ass. How are you getting a baby chick? Like, I feel like I would squeeze it to death. Like, where are you holding it to open the legs? And like,
it's a good question. Look at you. I know it's a good question. This is the baby chick. You know, like Mac, you hold the feet up while and then hold those hands so he's not flailing around.
Sure.
The baby chick, it's kind of like around the neck, not tight around the neck, but then more around the body. And then they kind of become submissive. I think they know that you're helping them. I don't know, but then I also lost 2 of the baby chicks. There was 4 and 2 of them died, but I guess that happens.
Because you didn't wipe their butt properly?
No, but because that just happens. Like it's like, Darwinism of like survival of the fittest.
You see their body laying there?
Yeah, and I had to bury it. And I won't tell you what happened next. One of the dogs found where I buried it. And then this is all, it's all happening. And then I cried because the baby chick that I buried, that I had wiped its ass, I find it on the trail halfway up the thing on the way to go feed the cows. And I'm like, oh my God, which one of you dug up the fucking baby chick? Because I didn't bury
that ass.
I wiped that ass. I know. It's really sad. I have cried more over these animals. Oh my
God.
I know.
How's your dog with the rash?
Oh my God, it's going great. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
Guys, to get a veterinarian appointment up at a ranch is really hard because there's just animals everywhere. I'm probably not supposed to do this, but I did it. I used some of Willis's prednisone, which is like a steroid that helps his lupus. Gave the other dog some of the steroid. The foot looks great. I'm a vet. I'm a mother and a veterinarian now. Mm-hmm. You're a doctor with dermatologists, and I'm a veterinarian.
And a real mother, yeah. That's incredible.
Are you my mother? Dr. Seuss.
My mom.
Yeah, but thank you for asking. That's very sweet. It's something that I love and I'm passionate about. But you have been busy doing, and you're the last person to ever give yourself credit on anything, but you did something so incredible. You started, and I want you to talk about it because it's really, really important for so many different reasons. And I know it makes you uncomfortable, but what you did and helping that couple on the Today Show, for those of you guys that didn't see, with Kristen Welker.
Love her.
Incredible. And I know you were inspired by her story, but you surprised a couple that had couldn't afford all of the expenses that come with surrogacy, and just sort of explain that and explain the Mac Grant Foundation that you started and everything that's behind it. It's really amazing, Erin.
Yeah, well, the whole process is just so expensive, and we're fortunate we could deal, but every time we would get a bill for medical, legal, state of California, this, they just, and I'll say it, they have you by the balls because you're so desperate to have a baby and you've gotten this far and your Sarah gets pregnant, you'll sign and write any check. And I just kept saying to Jarrett and also our, the lovely woman that set us up, with our surrogate, how do people pay for this? This is nuts. So I kind of just made it something I wanted to do after Matt came, where I wanted to get involved with this nonprofit foundation called Baby Quest. They actually help people who cannot afford IVF, egg donor, adoption, surrogacy, get money. And it's this woman that started it in, her house. And I had told Kristen Welker about it. I signed a deal with Enfamil, and part of my signing the deal was that I wanted to create money in Mac's name to give to Baby Quest. And I want to keep doing it. We still have money left in the grant. We want to award it to other people that are trying very hard to have a baby. And it was really, really rewarding.
I bet.
I'm so excited about it. And Kristen and I are talking about what can we do next? Like, should we host a gala? Should we because there's just so many people that we know that could help us. And we want to help, a lot of people that are having the same difficulties as us. So today's show was amazing in letting me do that. And I was excited about it. And it was a very fulfilling day.
I was very, very proud. I always am proud to be your friend, but when I see situations and things like that where you're paying it forward, and there's a lot of people that talk about doing things, and it's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to do it. And I love that you have somebody who's also been through the similar situation with Kristen, so you guys can work together to do something like that. And Matt Grant was his cute little foundation.
I know.
No babies,
yeah,
no
it was
babies.
really cool. So excited to keep doing it. Excited to continue to raise money for it. And like I said to Kristen, I was like, this is just the beginning, Yeah. I hate being the poster child for all these things, but if we really could make a difference, it's so exciting.
It is. So you were traveling for that, and you also had, as we always do, didn't it make you think like, oh my God, because I haven't been traveling or like on an airplane. You've been on an airplane a lot, but where we forget like all of the nonsense of traveling.
Yes.
And now you told us in the pregame, because I haven't talked to you. You had an emergency landing in Kansas City.
I called you. You were not available.
Well, I'm going to tell you that TSA, whatever it is. The public service announcement on me is if I'm at the ranch, there ain't no service. It is a blessing and a curse, because I want to talk to the people I want to talk to. And when I don't want to talk to people, it's great to be like, oh, sorry, I didn't have service. Your call, I wanted to take those. So wait, you had an emergency landing. What happened?
So I was leaving last week from New York to come back to LA. I actually made the early flight so I could try to see Mac before he went to bed. I was so excited about it. Got on the plane. And I've been watching, we've all seen the incidences happen on TikTok, on Instagram, where people are just absolutely, and I'll say it, misbehaving. Assholes. My mood getting off that wasn't so much that we had to make an emergency landing due to security reasons. My attitude and my hate in my body is that these flight attendants, these pilots, they are not security. The normal everyday citizens, the passengers on the plane, we are not security. And the fact it is up to us and these poor people that are trying to do their job to, hold people down from being violent and aggressive when we're how many feet up in the air is bullshit.
Wait, so what happened?
So we're on the plane. And something happened right behind me. And I turned around because I heard it. It was something that was said to the guy right behind me. Somebody walked up all the way in the front, made not a comment, but asked for something. I heard it because I was like, this isn't normal. And then he asked me, and I was like, this is so wrong, or this is not normal. I turned around and looked for the flight attendant who was actually walking down the aisle, and I just said, help, 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 help. The flight attendant intervened, brought the person up to the front. Yes, I am nosy Rosie over here. I get it. I'm texting Jared the whole time. I'm like, we have a situation. He's like, put your head down. Stay out of it. I can't. I have to see what's going on. My dad's in the news.
It is the Steve Andrews. It's the Steve. I was just going to say it's the investigative reporter in you. Yep, from your father. Yep.
It is. I'm watching. I keep turning around to the guy. I'm like, this is bad. We're going to have to land. He's like, oh shit. He was trying to make the North Carolina game. Like tip-off's at 5. I said, don't worry. If we land, they'll turn us around. Then.
Do you not want to say what he asked for? Because it's inappropriate or like weird?
It's not inappropriate. It was just like, whatever.
Okay, got it.
So they're talking, and I'm watching. I'm fully alert. He goes back to walk back down the aisle, back to his seat. I put my head down because I was like, oh shit, I hope he doesn't know that I like asked for a flight attendant. He goes to the back. I see a lovely male flight attendant follow him, but walking fast. I'm like, oh God.
Uh-oh.
Nosy Rosie, News Channel 8. My head turns all the way around and I got to see what's going on. I mean, I got to write my report, you know? I got to write it down. So I am watching. Forget about the book that I have or all the things or what I'm watching. I was like, I got to watch this. So I keep monitoring that. The steps that the pilot and the flight attendants took, I found interesting as somebody who works in like a news gathering situation. You could definitely tell shit was going down and they were getting ready to land. Yeah. So
whatever transpired between him coming up the aisles, making whatever said request to you and the gentleman behind, and now he's in. No. I was just like sequence of events. So he's come up so far. The only activity we've seen, again, Nosy Rosie reporting live. Eyewitness News at 11.
Sure.
He's come up the aisle, made the request to you, the gentleman behind you, went to the flight attendant, now back down the aisle, and that's all we know.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then a flight attendant follows him. You could obviously tell from people going back and forth the just what was happening up front. There was concern. I may or may not have had eyes on him at some point down there, all the things. We start to descend. And I'm like, I pull up the map. We're over KC. I'm like, shit. We're descending, but we're not descending if something isn't going wrong back there.
Ever.
And And so I was just like, we're descending. They didn't tell us on the plane, but the guy behind me and I knew we're descending because of this guy. We land. People are, they said, welcome to Kansas City. We had to land for a security reason. Everybody starts looking out. People start pulling out their phones. And I was like,
which is scary because you're like security issue.
What's
your
going
mind
on
goes
in
to
the
the
plane?
worst case scenario. Yeah.
You know what I said to the guy behind me? When I saw that there was
sorry,
commotion,
you're not going to make the game?
I know. I was like, you're going to make it. I was like, I work in sports. You're going to be fine. They say tip is, but you got it. You're going to make it. So I was like, are there still air marshals on planes? And he goes, I don't know. I haven't seen one since Bridesmaids. I was like, are you an air marshal? I
think they are, aren't they?
I don't know.
I think they're
don't
legal.
know.
Or is it only, well, you were on a cross-country flight. I think it's a cross-country flight. Any flight attendants or pilots that are anonymous, tell us what the protocol is on an air marshal. I'm fascinated by that because then sometimes I think I know which one's the air marshal.
I thought it was the guy behind me.
I start doing this.
Well, I felt like Megan, what's her name, in Bridesmaids. Like, I was like, Melissa McCarthy. Yeah. I was like, John the air marshal. I'm not an air marshal. Sure. I know where the nukes are, you know? Like, so anyways, we land. There's cop cars on both sides of our plane. A very large gentleman comes on our plane right away. Another man goes and follows. Everybody's like, camera out. Not me, not Nosy Rosie, because I was like, I'm not going to make this situation any worse. But I was like, shit. But I was also like, you know what? Again, I'll get on my soapbox. Good for the airline. Good for the pilot. Good for the flight attendants. It sucks we were delayed. I didn't even care about that. But like, shame on you. You should never be able to fly again. This is not the airline's responsibility. I'll say this right now. Delta, good for you. You handled it so well. I felt so friggin' bad for those flight attendants. This is not their job.
Yeah. Ryan's telling us, New York Times in 2023 reported about only 6% of flights have an air marshal. Ryan, as all of you loyal listeners know, is our wonderful producer. Only 6%?
Wow. I hope they're lying to us. Well, I wonder if that's gone up because I feel like people are acting crazy on flights. And
I know.
It's nuts.
You know what, though? I feel like that's a microcosm of like the world where everyone just gets to act a fool. Like the guy throwing the baseball at my windshield. And it's like, you just get to throw a baseball at my windshield and like, and I'm just sitting here minding my own business. Because Steve had to call the cops. Steve had to call the cops when we were at the ranch. Because someone rang the doorbell, and when you ring the doorbell at my house, it comes to a video thing on my phone, and somebody's trying to get in, messing with the lights. Yes, and I have the whole video of the thing. And I was like, you know what? Like, my house has already been broken into. Like, it's just, and then I'm riddled with fear. Yes, I use the word riddled with fear because I'm like, here we are again. So what am I doing all night? Monitoring the freaking cameras because now I have to worry about it. Look, it's not just us. It's everyone where it's like the minute that you feel in fear of anything, it sucks. And to be on a plane where, to your point, and I'm glad you said it about the flight attendants, the pilots, it's not their responsibility.
It's not their job.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, fuck, I'm sorry. That sucks. But like, fuck you. To your point, that guy should never be allowed on a plane again.
Ever. I know. But again, I commend Delta. I commend those flight attendants. That poor flight attendant was scared in the back because she came up and she gave the male flight attendants all hugs at the end. And I was like, damn it. Like,
yeah.
Like,
is it you want to be able to go to your job and not have to be in fear as if the job's not already hard enough in different ways for a lot of different reasons. Like me having an oversized bag that they're trying to shove in there and they get, their wrist gets hurt. I knew it was oversized, and then we were on a smaller plane and it fit on the plane before. So now I'm sorry that it doesn't fit in the overhead on this one. Just check it. I don't care. Check it. Just whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy.
I've always been
offer me a drink before takeoff.
Yeah, please, without ice. I've always been so pro flight attendant because I just, you and I talk about it all the time because we travel a lot. They're not your concierge. They're there for your safety. But my word, they are not there to be bodyguards for the rest of us on that plane. It's just so ridiculous. Behave.
As annoying as all of that was, I'm glad that it did end peacefully as it could end, because God forbid. So many things happening, my gal. And all my shit seems trivial now. I was just worried about the fact that, like, I don't know if you guys we'll descend on this conversation into something lighter. And I don't mean my hair color. Thank you for the bright highlights. But there is that moment where I came home yesterday and it's like, you feel like, oh, okay, like, obviously, like, I don't get ready at the ranch. I haven't worn makeup in a month. I mean, it's like, whatever.
Amen.
Who cares? But that day where it's like a light switch, where you look at your hair and you look at your nails and then you look at the Botox and you go, oh my God, everything needs to be done.
It's like when Carrie Bradshaw was on the cover of that magazine after being like really drunk, and then it comes out and she's like,
totally. Oh my God. Remember, she goes to the newsstand and she's like looking through and she thinks she's going to look like, this Vogue cover model, and she looks terrible. It is. It's like one day you wake up and you're like, holy shit. Like, all of these things need to be done, and they need to be done now. And you never realize how dependent you are on the people in your life that help you look and feel better until they're not available. I text my Botox lady. She's out of the country. Well, I get back here.
At a time like this.
I grab that passport, leave Nice, because this is not nice that you are out of the country, because I need some Botox. This is crazy. I have to go do some work events, and they're gonna be like this. This is not who we thought we were hiring. It's like the Time Best Damn Sports Show.
A PA or somebody else at the office that can help?
A production assistant? I'll give anyone a syringe right now, okay? No, she is a one-woman show, and this is a problem. And right now, she's in France with the money that I pay her, the good money that I pay her. Because, I mean, my God, I don't care. I'll pay you double, and I will fund your next trip to France. But this Botox needs to happen, because I don't think Mercedes wants me showing up looking like this. Anywho, I love your cars.
I keep petting my furry face. Oh, God, I need to dermaflash tonight. It's so bad.
I'm going to send you a video in a little bit at Lynn's with the box cutter. You're going to be horrified. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about.
Opening an Amazon box.
My sweet nail lady, she shaves my face, but no joke, she does it with a box cutter. And I don't know if it's been sterilized. I don't ask questions. That same little toothpick thing that she uses for the wax might have been used on the 4 people before.
Oh my God.
Up to this point, I'm just getting old antibiotics. I might take Willis's antibiotics like I did with the other dog. It's fine. Okay?
It's all working.
It's all working.
Speaking of working, I had mentioned in the last time we did a podcast that I was in a rut, and I was kind of thinking about it after I said it. I was like, wow, like, people are gonna be like, really? Wah, wah, wah. So many people checked in on me.
Oh,
hey,
my God.
You okay?
Are you okay?
Oh, you good? I got a lot of, you good? Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. My body was kind of out of whack for 2 months. The old hormone
that
situation.
People care, but you would have thought that, like, something really bad. You're like, wow, I was just having a bad day. Didn't know that I needed a full intervention.
Hey, just listen to the pod. You good? I think. I mean,
my favorite. Can I say this and edit it out if you don't want me to say it?
Sure.
We're in Montana and we're talking about the reaction of your comments. And Jarrett goes, yeah, babe, you can't, in his cute little, yeah, babe, you can't say that. Then people think we got problems.
Oh,
I don't know
you
why
can
I
say
just
that.
made him from New Jersey, but like I did. And it's like sweet little Canadian accent. He's like, yeah, babe. Like now people think we have problems. And I was like, Jarrett, I love you.
No,
So cute. We had such a great time.
We did have such a good time. I was really so sad when you guys left. It was not that I'm not sad when you leave all the time, but it was just such a
I
nice
needed more time. I know. I needed
Yeah.
more time with you. It was so nice. You're always so sweet to host. Erin's, by the way, an incredible host. Let me tell you. Let me tell you about these sheets, okay? These sheets are ironed. They smell good. She goes into the guest room. This is who Erin is. She takes this gorgeous candle. She puts it on the side of our bed to make sure that the place smells good. Everything is like perfect. She stocked the whole fridge with like every accommodation. You are an incredible host. So thank you for
such a
having
great
us.
time with you guys. And we had a very interesting, really fascinating dinner the last night. Was it the last night you guys were there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because we all felt like shit afterwards. That many drinks will do it to you.
It was a business dinner.
It was a business dinner. Write it off. But it was so interesting. And we were talking about being in a rut. Charissa and I are very self-deprecating. We were out to dinner with a friend, a very successful businessman. And after many cocktails, I made a joke about myself. And he goes, why do you do that? And I really was like, whoa.
Because
and you know what my comment was back? Because I work with men. Do you know how fucked up that is? But it's true.
And we'll say this, it's not the men that we work with that makes us feel that way.
No.
Ever.
No.
It's not them. It's our own thing in our head where we feel like we have to indoctrinate ourselves to them by self-deprecating and like bringing ourselves down. So then it's like, oh, now we can be in the group because we're or like not feeling, I don't know. It's such a fucking weird psychology thing. But we had been talking about it the few days before that, you and I, because you would say something negative about yourself. And I was like, knock it off. I would do the same thing. You checked me on it. And then it culminated in that when he said that. And I was like, ooh, like we do need to be
so serious. And like, I'll be honest, he's a very powerful man. I was fascinated as you guys were about, his life story and things that he's done to get where he is. And when he looked at me, and that could have been Michael Strahan, that could have been Troy Aikman, that could have been anybody that I work with. But those guys are all used to it. Like they all laugh and they're like, come on, you're crazy. And again, all the guys that we work with that we love, I consider them my family, some of my best friends. But yeah, I have been doing that my whole career. So I can feel a certain way and maybe make them feel unguarded around me. She's cool. She's not a diva. You know what I mean? It's fascinating that we do that.
I know. That's a larger episode. And we'll continue that conversation later because I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on anybody in their job or whatever that. And it's our own shit, but it is interesting where you feel like I've done that too, like around like really beautiful women or like, you know what I mean? Like where it's like, you need to like say something that's like, oh, but I'm not as pretty as you, or I'm not as whatever. And it's like, Jesus, like, did your dad not give you a hug, Charissa?
I've done that around Giselle. Like I've done that around like Jessica Biel. Like I just have. And it's like, we get it. Those women are hot, like insane. But it's like, Erin, we know you're not a model. We got that.
No,
you're not like a gorgeous actress. Yeah.
We do that just to like, I don't know, whatever the psychology is. Is there a psychologist listening? I'd love to hear this. Before we go though, speaking of being kinder to ourselves, I think that, you and I had a conversation. Remember, it was back on Valentine's Day and like something happened. And instead of getting mad, remember we were at that Mexican restaurant with Steve and we were telling the story. I'm not going to bring up this subject because it's not fair to the individual.
The Jarrett forgetting it was Valentine's Day? Yeah. He nailed Easter though. Crushed Easter. He did. Oh my God, I have a story for you. It has to do with
trying
Jarrett.
to protect my sweet Jarrett for forgetting it was Valentine's Day. But remember, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
This is no, because I need the Jarrett story. Write this down.
Yeah.
Nosy Rosie, investigative reporter, always has a notepad on hand. No, the whole thing was that instead of ripping, because I said to Steve, I was like, how would you, like, I would have blasted you. I'd been like, you're so fucking insensitive. And oh my God, I can't believe that you fucking forgot it's Valentine. And I just would have ripped him a new one. And he's like, that would not be effective. If anything, I'd be like, yeah, you're a bitch. That's why I didn't get you flowers or whatever.
That really hurt my feelings.
Exactly. Steve told us that if we say, in a quiet, sweet, sensitive voice that really hurt my feelings. That like that would kill him. That would kill Steve or would kill Jared if it's like instead of acting the way we normally act, we just were sad. So today, before we started the podcast and we were talking about different things we want to talk about, no, you said a TSA person really hurt my feelings. And I was like, oh, are you okay?
Yeah. I know I was thinking about the Jarrett story. I'll tell that at the end. Yeah. I mean, again, you and I've had flight attendants stop me and say, love the pod. Thank you for all you say about us and everything. And I just really try my hardest when I'm going through TSA. I feel like it's almost like, what am I trying to think? It's like, not a dance recital, but it's like you have to be ready. And I want to be ready for them because you need to be efficient. There's so many people in line and I travel all the time and I know what to do.
And it's not like you don't know what's coming. That's the part that kills me. Hey, you've seen this whole line. Everyone's taking their shoes off, their laptops off. What were you doing? You're on your phone, scrolling through Instagram, not paying attention. And you think it's a mystery that every time you walk up that now all of a sudden they need to see your license?
Totally.
Oh, this is shocking. We're about to get on the roller coaster ride and you think it's, we don't know what we're about to do.
Yep.
Look alive.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. I am on TSA side. I'm totally on their side. I get it. I try to help them.
I am a woman of the people.
I do. I try to even grab the
Shoes
bins
off,
when there's a long
off.
line. I know. And I'm stacking bins for them. Even though there's so many germs, I'm trying to help. I really am. So I hadn't flown in a couple of weeks and I had to go to New York. This was 2 weeks ago. I left my Tempur-Pedic pillow. I burned my legs. That's from Sex and the City. I left my Tempur-Pedic pillow in my purse. And normally I ship it. So I don't have to deal with it. It's a very weird configuration. It's a cylinder kind of thing. Mm-hmm. For some reason, it goes off in the damn machine. My purse goes through and it goes off to the side. And the guy recognizes me from TSA.
I hate that moment. I hate that moment when you're like, come on, keep going. And then it goes, stops, slides over.
And listen, I hate it for me because I want a couple seconds to maybe go grab something. And I hate it for them because it was a stupid move on my end. Great.
That's a pillow. You didn't know.
I do know. I know.
Water.
This is part of the story.
Oh.
So the guy knows me from TSA because I'm always in that line. And he goes, what do you got in there? What's that cylinder? And I go,
you know a guy at TSA?
Yeah.
You've got a guy at TSA?
Well, I just see him all the time. A lot of them always ask me what game I'm going to. They're
incredible. You travel even more than I thought. You got a guy
Delta
at TSA.
360. It doesn't help me.
Ed Bastian, I love you. Okay. Delta. I'm a loyal gal.
I love the way you handled the emergency. So I go, crap. It's my stupid Tempur-Pedic pillow. I go, you know what? It's so crazy that those make the x-ray go off because it's like they're sold here at the airport. But I was like, it always does that. This TSA agent was standing right there. She doesn't know me, and she doesn't know I'm a pleaser of TSA and all flight attendants and pilots. And she looks at me and she goes, well, if you know it goes off, why don't you try to be a little bit more proactive and not put it in your purse?
Oh, I don't like that.
It ruined my day. I called Jared and I was like, she doesn't understand I'm pro TSA. Like, she doesn't get it. And I was really
love Homeland
upset.
Security. I love Homeland Security.
I love what you guys do.
Oh, my God. I love the blue shirt. I love the authority. I love that black leather belt. I love the way that their voice must be so hoarse from saying the same shit. Take your shoes out. Put your laptops in the single bin.
Liquids
over
out.
And over again. Liquids out.
I feel bad for them. So the next week, I had to go to New York
great
again.
Benefit plan. Who wants that job? It's thankless to have to say that over and over again and deal with people.
And that's why I feel bad for them.
I know. Well, I don't like that woman. And if you tell me which TSA area it is, I'll go track her down. Actually, you can't talk back to TSA ever.
I saw her.
Again?
The next week when I had to travel.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to tell her so bad.
Are you flying out of a private airport that I don't know about every time? Jesus, how are you running into the same people? I don't see Steve twice in a week in the same house, and you're seeing the TSA lady.
I wanted to tell her what she said really affected me because I do try to be proactive.
Well, my battery's low on the Mac, so I guess it's time to go. And I don't mean your son. I just got a your Mac will go to sleep soon. The listeners are going to go to sleep soon if we don't. Nosy Rosie reporting live. Your shift for the 11 o'clock news starts soon, so I got to let you go. I got to charge my computer, and we're out. I miss you. I love you, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get that Elon Musk satellite, so I don't miss one of your calls because I can't afford to have another emergency landing and not know about it and have to wait until Monday when we record this.
I was so worried.
I was out that your face is so tight and mine isn't.
Can I talk to the FBI? What's going on?
Oh God, does anyone do at-home Botox calls? Because my lady is busy with Gaston in France.
I thought she was in Nice.
That's in France.
Oh. Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.